What's going on, guys? Listen, if you guys want to heal your diabetes in 60 to 90 days, this is the video for you guys. I've helped people get their A1Cs down from 13 to 7, had their doctors wondering how the fuck they did it. And I'm gonna share with you the secrets of what I did, of how I helped it out, especially type 2 diabetics I'm speaking to. It's gonna help you to really level out your blood sugar levels. Now again, if you're type 1 diabetic, I still have some amazing tips for you guys too in this video. You guys are not gonna wanna miss them. First thing I have to do is we have to know the difference between a type 2 and a type 1 diabetic. So again, remember, type 2 diabetics are just somebody who's producing too much insulin from their pancreas. So their beta cells in their pancreas are producing way too much insulin that the body's cells are no longer responding to insulin. Insulin, again, helping to shuttle sugar into the body cells. And if you don't shuttle sugar into the cells, it stays in the blood. And now we got a problem. It becomes toxic, becomes inflammatory, gives us problems. Now, as a type 1 diabetic, your body just doesn't produce insulin at all. Still produces glucagon from the A cells, but does not produce insulin. So you have to take shots in order to regulate your blood sugar levels. So now that we know that glucose can be a problem, but also it's the cells inside the body are just not responding to insulin anymore, so the body has an abundance of insulin in your system, we have to figure out a way to bring that insulin down and also consume foods that bring that blood sugar down as well. We have to dive into the foods that are breaking down the sugars in the body, and those foods are carbohydrates. When you consume too many carbohydrates, especially if you're on refined carbohydrates, processed food, it's going to break down into sugars in the body. Now, when it breaks down into sugars in the body, if the insulin can't shuttle it in, it stays in the body, blood sugar gets too high. Now, one of the first things we can look at is the glycemic index of carbohydrates. Now, the glycemic index is usually a measure from 0 to 100, and it measures how fast it takes the blood sugar to rise within 2 to 3 hours after taking that food. 100 being table sugar, and then from there, you've got your either lower glycemic index foods or your high glycemic index foods. Now, the first thing you can do is just start with low glycemic index foods and eat those low glycemic index foods because they're not going to spike your blood sugar as fast. They're typically going to have more micronutrients in them and more things like fiber in them that's going to slow down the process of raising that blood sugar level to help you become more stabilized with your blood sugars. Now, the other thing that you can do is dive into things like a keto style diet. So it doesn't have to be a 100% ketogenic style diet, but something close to a keto diet can really help you to stabilize your blood sugar levels because you're gonna be really low on the carbohydrate aspect, but higher on the fats. Now, the only essential macronutrients your body needs are fats and proteins. We need protein because it breaks down into those amino acids, which are the building blocks for almost everything in the body. Now, when you're looking at things like fats is extremely important too. Fat helps to absorb vitamins. Fat also helps with cellular structure and other hormonal processes in the body. And so if you don't have fat on board, you've also got a cascade of issues that are going to happen because you don't have enough fats on board. But carbohydrates, yes, the body can use them very effectively and efficiently, especially when training, but the offset of that is that the blood sugar goes high. And so when you focus on a diet that's higher in fat, then what you're gonna have is you're gonna have less of an impact to a zero impact on your body's blood sugar levels, meaning you can keep them stable while still getting in nutrients and calories to keep your body healthy. And when you think about it, fats break down. Fats are actually gonna give you more energy because you got 9 calories per gram of fat versus 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate. The ATP, which is the energy molecule of the body, you're gonna have more ATP from that fat that breaks down. And those ketones can actually go right up into the brain. So over time, you're gonna find that you might actually have more energy consuming a little bit more fat than you did feeling more sluggish on carbohydrates. Now, what you might wanna do is focus on getting 75% as a keto style of your diet comes from fat, 25% is going to come from protein because you still need the protein, the amino acids, and less than 5% is going to come from carbohydrates. Now, if that's a little tough, then what you can focus on is try getting 50 to 60% of your diet coming from fats, and then make up maybe 30 to 35% is going to come from protein, and then what you also can do is then the remainder comes from carbohydrates, or either increase your carbohydrates, right? But what I would say is try to aim to hit about 50% to 60% coming from fats, and then try the rest. Now, if that's still tough, the blood sugar is going all over the place, then I would then, from that point, start increasing the fats some more to that ketogenic style of 75%. And then see how your body responds. If you notice that your body starts getting more stable and the blood sugars are stable, that's perfect. Let's say your blood sugars have been stable for about 2 months. What you can start doing is start increasing your carbohydrates slowly. So maybe from 5% to 10% to 15%, but focus on low glycemic index foods. That way you can see how your body responds to certain foods. keep a journal and see where your blood sugar went after you ate certain things, like what happened with a low glycemic index food like a berry versus a higher glycemic index food like a banana. And then from there you can see if your body is ready to start reintroducing these foods or if it needs more time to balance itself out and heal. After you've gotten yourself about 2 to 3 months of a normal blood sugar level, that's why it takes time, but you can do it. And let's say you've got about 2 to 3 months of a normal blood sugar. Now, again, that's time to reintroduce, again, other higher glycemic index foods and see how your body responds from there as well. This is the process that it takes to heal your body. Again, nothing happens overnight, but what you can do is heal your body, come off pills, and come off all the pharmaceuticals they want to give you to keep you hooked and plugged into the system for life when you could just make lifestyle changes. Now, if you are going to do this, make sure you consult with your doctor is extremely important, because if you're on things like metformin and you're on insulin, but you're also working hard, training hard, and you're consuming foods and your blood sugar is balanced, then what's going to happen is taking metformin is going to lower your blood sugar, put you in a low situation. So you have to make sure your doctor is on board, or hopefully your doctor should be on board to help you do it through a lifestyle change. And that way you can get rid of the metformin, get rid of the drugs, and now you can start doing it based on your lifestyle. Super important, because this is probably the #1 thing that's going to help you out. It's exercise. So you want to get things like do strength training, do aerobic training as well, because what happens is your body, as a diabetic, your body can bypass that system, that insulin system that sends the signal to your cells to open up so that it can shuttle the sugar in. Your body can do that without insulin, and how it does it is just by exercising. Through the contraction of your muscles, your body can take in more sugar to take it out of the blood and help to balance out your body. Very simple, easy, and effective, but a lot of people, this goes underrated and they don't utilize a lot of exercise. Now, a combination of aerobic and anaerobic exercises, or cardio, so strength training, weight training, is really gonna be the most effective thing to help you to normalize those blood sugars, heal your body as fast and as effectively as possible. Now, the beauty about adopting a diet that's higher in fats and a little bit lower in carbs is if you're a type 1 diabetic, you can actually do this too. If your goal isn't necessarily to get as big as possible first in the gym, and you want to just focus on getting healthy, healing your blood sugar and keeping it stable, then what you can do is adopt a ketogenic diet as well, or something closer to a ketogenic diet, which is high fat, lower carbs, moderate protein, because that's going to help you out in terms of you giving yourself insulin. You're not going to have to inject yourself with as much. That's my injection stance right there. You don't have to do as much injections with the needle, because you're going to be able to stabilize your blood sugars just by your diet, by not spiking the blood sugar so much by consuming too many carbohydrates. It's your boy Jason Christo. I'm going to go ahead and see you guys in the next episode.